A man eats at a roadside stall, but then he finds an eyeball in his bowl.
这事别声张啊！你说这叫啥事儿？都吃了一半了，我还以为是牛的呢。我不管，他都赔我。你不用给我整那个没有用的，想我也是受害者。
This is the most powerful crime mystery movie in recent years. Although it is rated restricted, it still climbs the trending charts incredibly fast. In the end, it even wins multiple awards at the Berlin International Film Festival. Countless netizens review it in just 2 words: daylight. The director uses a serial murder case to reflect modern social reality. The collaboration between the Berlin Award-winning actor and the Golden Horse Award-winning actress perfectly showcases the complexity of human nature. In 1999, workers find a severed arm on a conveyor belt. The chief detective leads the team to investigate. The victim is identified. But strangely, the body of the victim is scattered across coal mines throughout the entire province. Even the experienced detective finds himself in a tough spot. The chief detective can only investigate step by step using the identity information. But the victim's wife just weeps silently and provides no valuable clues. And at the place where the victim worked before his death, they only find a set of work clothes. Just as the case is about to hit a dead end, a coal delivery driver provides an important clue. There is a pair of brothers who keep their truck running constantly to haul coal all over the province. But right after the crime occurs, the 2 brothers suddenly change careers. Sensing that something is wrong, the chief detective immediately initiates an arrest. 2 suspects are successfully cornered inside a barbershop. However, just as they let their guard down, the unexpected arrives out of nowhere. A handgun suddenly drops right out of the suspect's clothes. Everything happens way too suddenly. The chief detective instinctively fires all the bullets in his gun. His colleague hears the gunshots and rushes inside. One of the suspects is not completely neutralized yet, bringing an unexpected tragedy. The chief detective is severely injured and rushed to the hospital for emergency rescue. By the time he recovers and is discharged from the hospital, everything has already come to light. Those 2 suspects have absolutely nothing to do with the tragic mystery. His colleague brings along the victim's belongings to hand them over to the widow. But unexpectedly, the widow actually buries her husband's ashes right by the roadside. This abnormal behavior instantly catches the chief detective's attention. But his colleague does not care at all. Celebrate 5 years pass in a flash. The former chief detective becomes a factory security guard. After being dismissed, the tragic mystery becomes his obsession. He drinks his days away and becomes completely dazed and confused. No matter how his boss and colleagues tease him, he always acts completely hopeless. Only his former colleague still treats him with respect, even though his colleague is already promoted to captain now.
没事说吧，自己人。
同事递过来一沓照片。
A colleague hands over a stack of photos. It turns out another tragic mystery unfolds recently. Someone actually finds an eyeball while eating at a roadside stall. According to their investigation, the killer uses a pair of ice skates. Moreover, the victims all wear these skates when they are killed. Obviously, the victims are all killed while ice skating. Even more coincidentally, the victims turn out to be suitors of the widow.
这女的谁跟他谁倒霉？
This is originally a joke, but the captain fails to notice. At this moment, the chief detective's eyes light up with hope once again. Later, the chief detective goes to the dry cleaners to look for clues, but when he clearly sees the woman's face, his long, dormant heart instantly stirs with emotion. The woman's beauty makes the detective look away. Then he flees in a panic, just like a teenage boy. The detective begins to spy on the woman. At night, looking at her elegant figure, he feels completely dazed. At this moment, he does not even know if he is actually trying to solve a case. To get close to the woman again, the detective intentionally ruins his only leather pants. Then he returns to the dry cleaners to make a scene. But unexpectedly, the woman turns and leaves the moment she sees him. He thinks he will return empty-handed again, but he gets an unexpected lead from the shop owner. 5 years ago, the woman also ruins a fur coat here. At that time, the customer immediately demands $28,000 in compensation. The customer even comes to the shop to make a scene several times. But later, the man suddenly vanishes without a trace. The exact day that man vanishes happens to be the day the woman's husband is murdered. The detective intends to fish for more valuable clues. But right at this moment, the woman approaches them while wiping a table. Then she takes the chance to slip him a secret note. The note tells him to stop following her. The detective is stunned at first, but quickly hides the note. Although his real motive is exposed, he does not give up tailing her. Seeing the woman walk into a shop, the detective quickly chases after her. But when he returns, a strange thing happens. His perfectly fine motorcycle is suddenly broken. And what terrifies him even more is that 2 sets of footprints appear out of nowhere in the alleyway. This is clearly because someone does not want him to follow the woman anymore. But the detective refuses to easily give up this opportunity to rejoin the police force. Early the next morning, he goes to find the woman again. But as soon as he steps into the dry cleaners, the detective witnesses an unbelievable scene. The detective notices that the woman's hand is injured and leaves the dry cleaners without saying a word. When he returns, he places the gauze and medicine directly in front of the woman. However, his tough guy tenderness is completely ignored by the woman. Just then, a local thug breaks the awkward atmosphere in the room. The detective unleashes all his anger on the thug.
你知不知道我是谁呀？什么乱混蛋！哎呀，打我是吧？好，你再给我回家试试。哎呀，混蛋，听见没有？弄死你！你给我等着！你给我等着！
When he sees the woman pick up the gauze, the detective smiles with an ulterior motive. Things turn out exactly as he thinks, as no woman can resist a hero saving a damsel in distress. Soon after, he begins dating the woman openly. The detective takes the opportunity to invite the woman to go wild ice skating. Combining this with the clues the police found earlier, he concludes that the killer is hiding near the ice rink. The woman stands there and hesitates for a few seconds, and then she agrees to his request. But what the detective does not expect is that all their actions are witnessed by the captain. At this moment, the captain still has no idea that his joke is about to almost come true. During the skating session, the clumsy detective constantly struggles to keep up. With great effort, he finally catches up, but the woman suddenly skates away from the crowd. The detective instinctively follows her. Watching them skate further and further away, the captain, hiding in the dark, becomes extremely anxious. However, the detective is even more anxious than him. The woman does not flinch and just glances to the side. The hard-working detective is completely unaware of this at the critical moment. Although the captain's shout ruins the detective's good moment, it also saves his life. A car is constantly following right behind the taxi, and the ice skates are hanging right around the driver's neck. The detective takes the woman to watch a movie. At this moment, they seem just like a real couple. Meanwhile, the captain also tracks them to the movie theater. But as soon as he gets out of the car, he spots the man carrying the ice skates. The captain follows the man into a narrow alley. Just as he is about to handcuff him, the man claims his shoulder is injured. The captain does not pay attention to it and makes an exception by handcuffing his wrist from the front. But what he never expects is that this carelessness directly costs his life.
哎，李子，抓了个嫌疑人，我这个带回去，你准备一下啊。啊，问你话呢。
The captain's death pulls the detective out of his comfort zone. He climbs into the captain's car to look for clues. He finally spots a license plate number on a note. Sensing that something is wrong, the detective immediately tracks down the suspicious vehicle. However, he does not sense any danger at all. While eating, looking at the ice skates behind the man's back, the detective is suddenly startled. To avoid alerting the suspect, he quickly leaves the restaurant and lures the killer into a familiar ballroom. Using the advantage of the terrain, the detective not only shakes off his tail, but also pulls off a counter-surveillance move. After a few days of surveillance, he finds out that the man works at an ice factory all the time, and the captain's body is hidden by him inside the cargo box. The detective follows him all the way to a railway bridge. The next scene instantly makes him understand the key to destroying clues across regions. The man unties a woven sack and throws the wrapped evidence in batches into passing train cars. The detective is extremely shocked. He does not dare to make a single sound. Suddenly, a bold fury pops into his mind. The detective does not dare to slack off at all. He rushes to the ice rink without stopping and asks the owner to use the loudspeaker to look for someone.
发兵的梁志军同志，兵场的梁志军同志，梁志军同志，有人找你。
Hearing his name, the man is stunned at first and then quickly skates away from the ring. The detective wants to chase him, but because the ice is too slippery, he can only watch the killer escape helplessly. In desperation, the detective takes the new captain and restrains the woman, but surprisingly, she demands to see him specifically.
你要是这样就不对了，我还得上你店里洗衣服呢。
没想到你是警察，何必骗我呢？
谁告诉你我是警察的？你听着，往后你的日子还长着呢。这个我真不骗你。
Seeing that the woman still refuses to confess, the detective directly brings up the information he has gathered. Upon hearing that her husband is exposed, the woman sheds tears of either regret or relief, and then she actively confesses everything. Her husband is a weighbridge operator, but since his income falls short, he starts to hatch a crooked plan. However, his very first robbery goes wrong and results in a murder. To escape punishment, he decides to find someone to take his place, and the customer who causes trouble for the woman becomes the perfect choice. Since genetic testing technology does not exist back then, the husband successfully fools everyone. But he loses his identity as a result. Every day, he can only hide in the shadows to watch the woman's life. Looking at the woman's tearful face, the detective does not know how to comfort her. He gets out of the car to report the situation to the captain. However, they do not know that the clues they currently hold are still a long way from the truth. Later, the woman cooperates with the police to lure her husband out. But just as they are about to close the net, the husband notices something is wrong. In the days that follow, the detective keeps following the woman. He is afraid that the woman will do something foolish. The detective wants to explain her husband's death, but the woman becomes extremely agitated.
你他妈的老实点！我是来帮你的。
After finally calming the woman down, the captain suddenly shows up at the door. They want to take back the victim's belongings from 5 years ago.
我把它丢河里了。
丢河里了，没留下一点儿。
没，看见他心里会难受的。
我想了解一下当时的情况，咱们车里说好吧？
Seeing the woman taken into the car for questioning, the detective returns to the dry cleaners in confusion. He does not understand why she lies. There is another innocent soul who died wrongly 5 years ago. Looking at the tree pit where the ashes are buried, an unbelievable idea suddenly flashes in the detective's mind.
把那皮厂给我。不是，这是人家刚送来的。不是，99年开业弄坏那个，28000。嗯，不是，你给我。你说那小子是闹了2天就不来了啊？啊，你还准备给他送过去？是啊。那你知道地址啊？应该是他吧。这皮厂我1000块钱收了，反正也没人要。
The detective rushes to the address on the business card without stopping. He learns from the man's wife that the couple used to run daylight fireworks, but in June of 1999, her husband suddenly vanishes into thin air. Before his disappearance, she personally sees a girl looking for her husband. All these years, she thinks her husband is hiding a mistress in another city. The detective knows that the girl the woman mentions is exactly the widow. Looking at the flashing neon lights of daylight fireworks, the detective falls into a dilemma. On one hand is the chance to rejoin the force, and on the other is a blossoming romance, so he does not know how to choose. After a night of inner conflict, the detective ultimately chooses the former. At night, the widow arrives at the amusement park as promised. Her exquisite makeup clearly takes a lot of effort, and the luxurious fur coat highlights her elegance even more. The detective instantly falls for her and cannot help himself. After they get onto the Ferris wheel, the woman asks where the show is. The detective points vaguely into the distance. When she sees the flashing neon lights of daylight fireworks, the woman realizes that the truth is already exposed. She instantly collapses into the detective's arms.
说你要主动些。
As their eyes meet in the air, the two spend a sleepless night. The next morning, they have breakfast together.
晚上见你。
Watching the back of his beloved leaving, the detective's face is filled with complex emotions. Later, the woman is taken into the car by the captain. When she sees that familiar fur coat, the woman instantly understands who exposes her. In despair, she confesses the whole truth.
配不起他的衣服，他叫我陪他去旅馆开房，一次还不够。
5 years later, the case finally comes to light. The captain holds a victory banquet for this, and the detective is praised in public. He quickly takes the chance to flatter him.
有对，知道有方。
那是。
Listening to the laughter around him, the detective feels a bit dazed for a moment. He loses his best friend. He betrays the woman he loves. In the end, he still fails to rejoin the police force. After the victory banquet ends, the heartbroken detective goes to the ballroom. He thinks he will get some comfort here, but his former dance partner ignores him completely. So the detective dances alone, as if no one is around, venting the frustration in his heart.
也没有见过有人在深夜放烟火，晚星就像你的眼睛，杀人又放火，你什么都不必说。
At the end of the movie, the woman is taken to the crime scene by the captain. She confesses the entire process in full detail. She details everything from getting the weapon in the kitchen to permanently removing the owner of the fur coat in the bedroom. However, just as they are about to leave, all kinds of fireworks suddenly shoot from the rooftop. The person setting off the fireworks is exactly the detective. He wants to use this method to see the woman he loves off on her final journey. Watching the daylight fireworks blooming all over the sky, the woman gradually sheds her indifference. In the end, she is completely captivated by the beautiful white fireworks. They meet during the investigation and fall in love after the case closes. The romance between the detective and the woman is supposed to be like fireworks, splendid, beautiful, and loved by everyone. But blooming in the vast daytime sky, it is only absurd, out of place, and no longer beautiful.